Or ever I was aware, my soul made me like the chariots of Amminadab, Song of Solomon 6 verse 12. I would judge these words to be those of the elect bride, the church. Ammi, as we see from Hosea, means people, and Nadab means prince. The combination of the words means a princely people. The bride's quickening. The thought seems to be that her soul experienced a quickening of desire for her beloved, since she heard, as in the previous verse, that he had visited her garden of nuts to see how the virtues and graces of his spirit were flourishing. She may have been asleep at the time and knew not of his visit, something all too common among the Lord's people. For some reason there had been another temporary withdrawal of his sensible presence from her, but he had so great love for her he could not long stay away. When she heard of his presence in her garden, it seems that her soul was suddenly caught up in holy rapture. It may well have been something like that of the Apostle Paul when he was caught up into the third heaven. Her words, or ever I was aware, are very much like the Apostle's words, whether in the body, I cannot tell, or whether out of the body, I cannot tell, 2 Corinthians 12 verses 2-4. Howsoever it was, there came a quickening of her desire for him whom she loved. She then ran toward the place where she now knows that she can find him. She makes haste to go to him as though she were in one of the chariots of Amminadab. As a people of God we are often plagued by inconsistencies and the ebb and flow of spiritual affections. How we need just such a quickening of desire for our well-beloved. The bride's exercise. My soul made me, or, my soul became, like the chariots of Amminadab. Her whole soul was in this movement toward him. Perfect love casts out fear, and boldly she moves toward him without the slightest impediment or fear. This is the exercise of a quickened soul. Such a one is never content with the mechanical externals of devotion. There are many who would never dream of neglecting the outward ceremonies of public worship, but whose hearts are never quickened with an outreach of devotion toward the Lord himself. The outward is nothing to the Lord. He wants the heart. Nor should we ever be content, either in public or in private, with anything less than new discoveries of Christ and the incomings of his grace to us and the outgoings of praise to him. The Lord's people are a willing and princely people, as the word suggests. We can only run to him according to the measure our soul is quickened in its force and feeling. With every kind of spiritual exercise there must be the exercise of the inner spirit, and it is this exercise of soul which creates the standard of our worship and praise. Such exercise well becomes the company who are the chosen and elect bride of Christ. They are all princes, all the sons and daughters of a great king, all heirs to a glorious kingdom. All have crowns of life and righteousness and glory laid up for them, all have thrones upon which they are to sit, all have princely robes and fare, all have angels to attend their needs. What a privilege to be the Lord's, and to ride through this world in the swift chariot of his love. The bride's haste. Like the chariots of Amminadab, she makes haste to move toward him. Bless God for those seasons when our love has been quickened and has been in great exercise. It is love for him which lifts up our souls and fills the heart with joy, as it did that of David when he danced before the Lord in spiritual hilarity. All within this bride was now awake. All was in haste. There was no slumbering thought and no reluctant step. It mattered not what difficulties lay in the way, or how many enemies beset her path. When the chariots of Amminadab moved, they moved swiftly and none could stay them. Thus it is that believers must go out to meet him whom our soul loveth. Should we be fearful, or sluggish, or hesitant, or reluctant? God forbid. Let us quicken our pace. Let love burn and glow and carry us forward as we go out to meet him. I've found the pearl of greatest price, my heart doth sing for joy. And sing I must, for Christ is mine, Christ shall my song employ. Christ is my peace, he died for me he gave his blood, he as my wondrous sacrifice offered himself to God. Christ Jesus is my all in all, my comfort and my love, my life below, and he shall be my joy and crown above. J. Mason.